Good evening, future Maryland homebuyers. Thank you so much for being with us tonight for your home buying keys. This is our monthly webinar series brought to you by Maryland homeownership.com. It is a hot one out there. We're really glad that you're spending hopefully someplace cool and spending some time with us tonight to learn about all of the opportunities we have here in Maryland for you to buy your first home. I'm Lisa May with the Maryland Realtors, and I am joined tonight by an expert panel, folks who have been helping first-time buyers for years and years achieve their home ownership goals. We have Nicole Artis, our realtor, Patty Click, our lender. We have Jim Hall from Freddie Mac and Catherine Kramer-Dale from the Maryland Mortgage Program. I will be turning it over to them in turn tonight. But most importantly for you, if you have questions about anything that any of our presenters tonight say, something that wasn't clear, something they didn't cover, we have a Q&A function right down here at the bottom of your screen. Type your question in. We'll get that in front of our panelists. And we always get this question. Yes, we will be sending out a recording of this video to all of you, along with the handouts from each of our presenters, so that you can refer back to it after this is over. So 6:33, I'm going to just dive right in. And our first speaker tonight is Nicole Artis. She is the broker owner of Modern Move Agency in Fort Washington. Nicole, I think you have been in the industry 13, 14 years, maybe even longer, but by now. So she has helped quite a few buyers in her career. So Nicole, I'm just going to hand it over to you. Tell us what a first-time buyer needs to know about the housing market in Maryland.
So the first thing is being prepared. And by being prepared, I mean contacting the real estate agent first. Like I tell my clients all the time, it's over 30,000 agents for a reason. It's somebody for everybody. So you want to find the right fit for you. So you want to get an experienced agent. You go to your agent first before going to your lender so that we can make the referrals. They all know that they can work with anybody. But I always let clients know that your referrals are your bread and your butter because everybody has experience with them, or the people that referred you have experience. So always, check out your referrals first. So once you come to the realtor, then we may refer you, or you may have already come with a pre-approval. But if you have not, I always advise to talk to the lender first. It's always tempting for buyers to try to assess their file on their own before contacting the lender. But I always advise the buyer to contact the lender first and let the lender assess the file for them and determine what's needed and help them do the pre-approval. Once the buyer gets pre-approval, and number one, you want the pre-approval first, especially in this market, because it is still competitive. So even with the 6 and 7% interest rates, it's still highly competitive. We're still seeing 5 to 10 offers on a property. So you want to be pre-approved. It's very tempting for buyers to want to go on our local websites and schedule a showing real quick. But it serves them no benefit if they don't have the money or the pre-approval. So I always let buyers know to get your pre-approval first. That's number one. Once you get the pre-approval, the lender will help determine what you qualify for. So you can sit there, you can try to figure it out, and you might say that you qualify for this, but the lender might say you qualify for this amount. So the lender is a major part to qualifying for a home and a major part to the home buying process. Once we get the pre-approval, then we start the home shopping. I know it's very tempting for people to want to home shop before the pre-approval, but I always tell people it's nothing that we can do without that letter, without the money. It's like window shopping. Can't write the offer for you. And it's super competitive. So imagine trying to look at a home, you found a home you really like, and it'll always be on a Friday. Can't get in contact with a lender and we can't even write the offer for you because we don't have the pre-approval. So I always advise buyers to get that pre-approval letter first, especially in this market, because even though it seems that things are slowing to other people, it's really not. I know in my area, it's still highly competitive. So you want to get the pre-approval before we start touring homes. Once we tour the homes, then we'll go into writing an offer. When it comes to writing an offer, you want an agent to be experienced. Number one, because like myself, I worked in a market like this before. Actually, when I got my real estate license, it was a market like this before. The only thing difference was the home buyers were a little bit lower. but I had the experience to be able to write competitive offers. So you want a lender that's experienced to write competitive offers for you to help you win in this type of market. Once you win in the market, you get your offer accepted and you're under contract, then we move into your contingencies. Am I moving too fast, Lisa? No, I'm good. Okay. So we move into your contingencies. The biggest contingency is your financing contingency and your home inspection contingency. Those are the top two contingencies. And a lot of times before, I know when we was in the COVID market, people was getting rid of contingencies, home inspections, financing contingencies. As a first-time home buyer, I highly advise my clients to get home inspections. That is so important. And I can't tell you how many phone calls I've received from people who bought in that between 2020 and 2022 who are not happy with their home because they didn't do home inspections. So home inspection is number one. It's ways to do home inspections. You can do a pre-inspection before you put your offer in if it's competitive. But I always advise home buyers to do a home inspection so you can know what you're getting. And then a lot of the times they will say, well, I'm getting an appraisal. Well, the appraisal is not the home inspection. The appraisal is to determine the value. They'll look for health and safety, but you still want to know what you're buying and what you're getting into. So they'll go into that process of doing the contingencies with the appraisal and the home inspection. So I don't really like to advise clients to get rid of contingencies unless they are experienced buyers. If you're a first-time home buyer, I highly advise that you use your financing and your home inspection contingencies. Appraisals, what I am noticing is that homes are not selling that much above list price as they were last year. So I don't feel the need for buyers to get rid of appraisal contingencies now, because I think that some sellers might be on the fence, or they might be a little bit scared. So even though we're getting multiple offers, I'm still seeing offers that's kind of right along with the list price, maybe a little bit above. So I don't advise buyers to really get rid of the appraisal contingency. Getting rid of appraisal contingency says you have a lot of cash. So you don't want to dump all of your cash into a home for your first time. You want to be prepared for those things that's going to come up after you purchase. That's the biggest thing, because when you move into a home, you can do a home inspection, but when you move into a home, that's when the home will show its true colors. And it should. It's living. You're living in it. You're using all of the systems. And the home is going to show you what's going on with it. And you want to be prepared for that. That's why you want to have your money saved up. You don't want to dump all your money into a home if you don't have to when it comes to cash and the appraisal. So I always advise buyers to make sure they have a good nest egg and they have a good savings before buying. Sometimes buyers, they want to go through the programs and they want to use every dime. I highly advise that you have a good nest egg, because home ownership can be very expensive. And that's just the reality of it. It's home ownership. You might move in and then 2 years later, you might need a new roof. I mean, these are things that you can't, a lot of things you can't possibly prepare for. So saving money helps push you ahead. So we'll go through the home inspection and the financing contingency. And another thing is selecting title companies. A lot of times buyers don't know what title companies do. They don't even know who they are. So the title company, they just make sure there's no liens or anything against the property. For the most part, your lender can refer a title company, but if you have a title company referral, or the agent might have a title company referral, you can use them. But I always advise the buyers that you can select whoever you want. However, I'll refer to a title company. They'll do the search. They are a mutual party. They don't work for one or the other. Another question that typically comes up is the earnest money deposit. That's always a big question. And it's always, well, how much should it be? Usually I'll see 1%, but it's totally up to you. I always let the buyers know the stronger your EMD is, the stronger your offer is. And I think a lot of times the buyers will forget that the earnest money deposit goes towards your transaction when you close. A lot of times they think that when they're doing the earnest money deposit, that it goes towards the seller, and it actually goes towards your transaction when you close. And if you don't close, that's a whole different situation. But the earnest money deposit is to show that you're serious about purchasing a home. As a homeowner, you don't want to take your home off the market and you have a buyer that's not serious. So that's one of the costs involved. So you'll have your earnest money deposit, and you'll have your home inspection. Those are in your home appraisal. Those would be the 3 costs you can look forward to when it's time to start purchasing a home. So you always want to be prepared for that. Those are the things that are paid outside of settlement. So, and again, your EMD will go towards your costs. So after you've done all of that, you've met all your contingencies, now you are ready to close. So what happens at closing? I like to tell my clients while we're looking for a home, please, 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 do not go out and get a new credit card. Don't go buy a new car. Don't, and I know the lenders have this conversations with them, but during the process of buying a home, it always happens where your car breaks down and you need a new car. It happens like that for a lot of people. And I know that you may be tempted to take out new credit, but during your home shopping process, if you can avoid taking out any new credit and buying a new car because you really need it, try to avoid that until you get your keys and you close on your home, because a car can hinder you from purchasing a home. That's like one of the biggest things. And I always have buyers that they just got pre-approved and they'll call me a week later and they say, hey, my car broke down. What should I do? So if you can avoid taking out any new credit during the home buying process, please try to do that, because that can stop you from purchasing a home that you're under contract for. So I know I went through that pretty fast. I do have the slides too. But once you close and you purchase your home, you're now a homeowner and you're good to go. So.
Well, yeah, thanks, Nicole. And guys, anyone who has questions, again, please put that in the Q&A. But I'll just go ahead and start. You mentioned that there are 30,000 realtors in Maryland, and obviously you want someone experienced, but that's still that's a pretty big list of people to get through. So where would you suggest a first-time buyer start to find the realtor who's going to represent them in a transaction?
Honestly, I would talk to a friend. I mean, a lot of us have friends or family members that purchase. I would ask them, well, first I would start by asking, how was your home buying experience, before I ask who it was, because sometimes people will refer you and they didn't even like working with the person. So I'll start by asking, how was your experience with your, when you purchased your home, how was it? And if they say it was great, it was awesome, then I'll say, hey, well, would you mind referring the realtor? You can start there first. And then from there, if you don't have anybody that can refer an agent, then you can go online and search realtors in your area, and you'll get a ton. I highly recommend interviewing realtors too, just to make sure that they fit and that they're qualified.
Great. And another thing that we hear kind of often is, there were those national headlines about the housing market, what it's doing, where it's headed. And it's really tempting to look at those, right? It's on the nightly news. But what does that really say about housing in Maryland or even in your city or county?
To be honest, and I'll be completely honest and direct, I always tell my clients that I don't pay attention to the news. At the end of the day, if you're ready to buy a home, you're ready to buy a home. And it's no right time. And it's no like perfect time. If you woke up today and you say, you know what, I'm tired, I need to move out, I'm tired of paying rent, I'm ready, and you have the financial means to do so, then that's the time when you're ready, not when the media says you're ready, not when, somebody posts an article and says that you should be buying a house right now. Time in the market can kind of like set you back a lot. I've had people who I've been communicating with since 2019, and imagine what the market was like in 2019 and how it is now. And now they're having a harder time because they can't adjust to the fact that the home prices are different, because they were trying to time the market and they was hoping for this huge market crash that didn't happen when they thought it was. So it's not a perfect time. It's the right time for you when you're ready.
Excellent. And speaking of timing, there, like you said, there are things that have to occur before you start looking at houses. So how early, do you suggest someone start this process before they actually would get to writing a contract and closing on a home?
Yeah, I love that question. So it's never too early. It's never too early, because if you have to save money, if you have things that might be on your credit that you need to address, you want to get started on that stuff as soon as possible. So I always tell people it's never too early to talk to a lender.
Excellent. Well, Nicole, thank you. Nicole's going to stick around here for a little while. So if you guys think of something else for her, please go ahead and put that in the Q&A. But at this time, I'm actually going to pivot over to our lender, Patty Click. Patty is a loan officer with Prime Lending in Timonium, Maryland, and she works throughout the Baltimore region. So Patty, thank you so much for being with us, and I will let you have the floor.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I'm gonna share my screen real quick. So give me a quick second, and this should do it, I hope. Okay, so you can be a homeowner success story, and I'd really love to help you get there. A little bit about me. So Lisa said I'm a loan officer with Prime Lending. I work in Timonium, do a lot of work in Baltimore City, County, and surrounding areas. Thing about the lender versus your realtor is I'm not driving you to the houses, so my service area is a little bit wider. I, work all over the state and actually nearby states as well. So I've been doing loans for more than 15 years. Been ranked in the top 1% for both Mortgage Executive Magazine and the Scotsman Guide. And I do specialize working with first-time homebuyers and the different incentive programs. And so far, even just in 2023, I've helped homebuyers get more than $150,000 in down payment assistance from various programs and combinations. And a lot of that, the backbone of that is with the Maryland Mortgage Program, of course. And if I find people come into these types of events, you're just kind of getting started in the process, and knowledge is power. So your first step is talking to a lender or a realtor, and getting started with that pre-approval process. So the sooner that you get started, the sooner that you know what you are able to do now. So sometimes people are surprised and they think, oh, I don't have enough money saved, or I'm not sure about my job history or credit or something. But really, as a lender, my job is to help guide you and advise you of what you can do now, and then if you're not quite ready, what you need to do to get there. So the pre-approval process, you start by filling out some sort of application. Most lenders have online applications now. There's a lot of great tech so that it even makes submitting all of your information and documentation a lot easier. I can take your info over the phone, and then you'll gather up your documentation. So I like to use little phrases and things to help make it a little bit easier to understand and remember. So for your documents, there's the 2-2-2 rule. So 2 of everything: your 2 most recent bank statements, pay stubs, and W-2s, and sometimes tax returns. And when I get that application and your documents, we'll put together a personalized home buying action plan of what you can qualify for and or what you need to do. And as well as what different sorts of first-time home buyer incentive programs you might qualify for and what you need to do for that. So while this is a great information session, Maryland Mortgage Program and a lot of the other incentive programs require often a kind of more robust home buyer education as well. And then we'll go over the numbers, which that can be sometimes the scariest part of, like, you just don't know when you're a first-time home buyer of what is my monthly payment going to be, what do I need to have out of pocket. And then, as Nicole mentioned, we'll get that pre-approval letter so you can start your house hunting. And really, that is so important, that you know that you are fully vetted, and that if you get a letter from somebody and you haven't given any documents, I'd think twice, because it's important that everything has been reviewed and that you are clear on what you can qualify for, and that you can really be approved for the loan once you go under contract. So I'd like to talk briefly about credit. And these are just kind of my credit FAQs of, like, what do people ask about with credit? So why do credit scores matter when you're getting a mortgage? It is the easiest way, or there has to be some sort of uniform way for a lender to make a lending decision of what is your likelihood of repaying the loan. And that is what the credit score is telling us. And so these are just average scores for 2022 of, you can see, really it goes below 600. You're going to have a little bit more of a problem getting a mortgage, getting approved. Above 620, and then Maryland Mortgage Program 640 is really where you want to be. all the way up to above 800. You don't see that all the time, but you know, this is just an overview of the range of credit scores. And so kind of covered with that, the scores that you need to get a mortgage. A lot of lenders, and myself included, we can start lending at about a 580 credit score, although ideally you want to be at least at a 620 or 640 for a lot of mortgage programs. And the higher, the better. So it is, again, the higher your credit score, the more likelihood of you repaying the loan in the lender's eyes. So often the better the terms and just the easier the process for you. Make sure that you have accounts that report to your credit, you know, open active accounts that you're paying on time. So just paying off negative things on your credit doesn't necessarily boost your score. You need to have the positive things reporting as well. And if you don't, you know, if you think that your credit might not be where it needs to be, again, knowledge is power. So a good lender can help give you a plan and an idea of what you need to do. Because often just trying to figure it out on your own, it can be a little bit overwhelming of like, what do you need to do? And to that end, I do the things that go into your credit score. This slide just goes over real quick of, again, this is all based on open active accounts reporting to your credit report. So credit cards, student loans, car loans, if you've had a house, mortgages, or other installment loans, that your payment, number one, that your payment history, that you make your payments on time. Number two is the balances of your credit cards compared to the credit limits. Number three, 15% of your score is how long have you had credit accounts open. So the older your credit accounts are, the better. And then that you have a good credit mix so that you have a little bit of, so a credit card and a car loan or installment loan in your credit history. And then new credit or inquiries, while it's the number one thing that people ask about, it's the least impactful on your credit score of things. So inquiries do matter. You don't want to have tons and tons of inquiries, but at the same time, to get pre-approved, we do have to do a credit inquiry. So that is a good overview, and happy to answer any other questions individually. The other thing I like for people to leave, I've been talking to them with a little bit of real practical information. So how do we approve you? What's the debt to income ratio? You might hear that that term. So your debt is what your monthly payments are from your credit report, your credit cards, student loans, car loans, and then some things we do look at that might not be on your credit. If you pay child support, if you are on a payment plan with the IRS. And then, so it's debt compared to your income. What is your monthly pre-tax income? So it's not what you take home. It really is your pre-tax income is what we look at to qualify you for a loan. And then I have I got a little fancy with the transitions. I have a magic formula. So often, and this is not every loan, so it's different. It can be different from loan to loan, but generally you can qualify for about 45% of your monthly pre-tax income for a mortgage payment and any other debt that's on your credit. So that's your income, star means times 0.45 is 45%. And I even do, here's a little example for it. So if you make $75,000 a year, that's $6,250 a month. Let's say you have $500 a month in a car payment, credit cards, all that added up. So if we take 45% of your monthly income, means you can qualify for a mortgage payment plus other monthly debt of $2,812 a month. So if I subtract that 500, that means it's a $2,300 a month approximately mortgage payment. So what does that equate to a sales price? It really depends on like what your down payment is, what type of financing you're getting, what interest rates are. Like there's a lot of different things that go into it, but I know I went through that fast, but just wanted to give a quick overview of truly like that's what we look at when we're qualifying you for a loan. It's not some mysterious thing. So as part of the pre-approval process, I say pull back the curtain and show you how you can be approved, not just tell you like this is what you can be approved for, because maybe you can pay off a credit card or your car loan's about to be paid off, and then you might qualify for a little bit more house. And we won't get into specifics, but there are lots of different types of mortgages out there. So FHA, VA, USDA, and then conventional financing. Prime Lending actually partners with Freddie Mac for both Home Possible and their Borrow Smart program. as well. All of both conventional and the government loans, the FHA, VA, and USDA also are able to be, you use those loan programs with the Maryland Mortgage Program. So it's not something separate. And then what's next? So really your first step is getting pre-approved. My website. So again, I'm Patty Click. My website's loansthatclick.com. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions and individual questions that you have. Feel free to reach out. And I love this little phrase. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. It's over time. Values do go up. You're paying down your mortgage. And it really is all about getting you in a better financial position. And then that's me.
All right, Patty, thank you. I love that website. That's fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I did want to ask, because sometimes there's, like this misconception out there, like, oh, I had a bankruptcy in the past. I'm never going to be able to buy a house. True or false?
False. So you don't have to wait that long. So depending, VA financing, less FHA, just a couple of years. It does need to be discharged. It depends on, if you're chapter 7 or 13. So if you were on a repayment plan and the debt wasn't just completely dismissed, then it's actually a little bit sooner than chapter 7. So absolutely. And same with foreclosures. After 3 years FHA, you're eligible.
Wonderful. Now, of course, the hot topic among everyone, interest rates.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, everyone's talking about how high interest rates are right now. Can you give us just a little, I don't know, maybe history of interest rates and how much you think they matter in comparison to other factors?
Yeah. So it does matter. And I have another cool phrase for this. It is marry the house, date the mortgage. And it's that, yes, rates are high right now, but it doesn't mean that it's the wrong time to get into buying a house, because over time, houses are going to go up and generally go up in price, even if there's small periods where they go down. Though right now there is, especially in Maryland, there is not enough inventory for the number of people that need homes for both rentals and purchase. So the houses are going to likely continue to go up in value, at least a modest amount each year. The longer that you wait, the more expensive that they get, and then the harder that it can be to qualify. So yes, rates are high right now, and especially in comparison to how they were during the COVID times. And it's likely never going to go back to the COVID times. And you don't want it to, because rates were so low then, because globally, we were having a crisis like nothing we've experienced in our lifetimes. And that is why interest rates were so low. So, six in the 6s and 7s is, if you would have asked somebody in the 90s, they would have, cut off their arm to get that rate. And even in the mid 2000s, rates were higher than they were now when I got into the mortgage business. And it fluctuates. So it will likely come down from here. The more you hear about inflation being better, the better mortgage rates will be. And it's not hard to refinance is really what the last few years taught us as well. So get into the house and it can be adjusted later.
There you go. Refinancing can be your friend, and mortgage lenders can help you with that too. Would be more than happy to help you with that. All right. Well, Patty, thank you. Patty's going to hang around too. So again, if you think of something, go ahead and put that in our Q&A. But right now, we are so pleased to have Jim Hall back with us from Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac has not just loan products, but also programs and information that are incredibly helpful to first-time buyers. So Jim, go ahead, and I'm going to try to share your slides for you. So give me just a second here.
Okay. And how are you, Lisa? Thank you for having me back. I really appreciate it.
Doing great, Jim. Let's see here. Hopefully everyone can see that.
Okay. Well, I just want to commend you and Maryland Realtors for, providing a platform for, housing industry professionals like Nicole and Patty to be able to, share their experiences and wisdom for prospective home buyers. You are doing a great service for the citizens of Maryland, and everyone here at Freddie Mac really is taking notice of what you're doing down there. So great job. So.
All right, Jim, your first screen is up, so take it away when you're ready.
All right. So I'm Jim Hall with Freddie Mac. I'm affordable lending manager. And if you don't know what Freddie Mac is, I can tell you he's not a guy. Okay. We are a government sponsored enterprise. We were created in 1970. We are a mortgage company and we're mission based, and our mission is to provide stability, liquidity, and affordability to the housing markets. Not lend to the public. So you may be asking yourself, why are two mortgage companies, on this webinar? We are not in competition with Patty and Prime Lending. Okay, like I mentioned, one of our missions is to provide liquidity. So we operate in what's called the secondary mortgage market. So we purchase loans from lenders like Prime Lending and the Maryland DHCD's Maryland Mortgage Program to put that liquidity back into the marketplace. And being a mission-based organization, we are very, very happy to partner with housing finance agencies like the Maryland DHCD, which provides the Maryland Mortgage Program. I worked at a housing finance agency up here in New Jersey for 12 years, and I know what they do for the states that they are in providing, affordable loan programs and down payment assistance. So Freddie Mac created a program specifically for lenders like Prime Lending to use through the Maryland Mortgage Program called HFA Advantage. Now, Patty had mentioned the Home Possible program. That's a program where Prime Lending can make those loans and deliver them directly to Freddie Mac. The HFA Advantage program, Prime Lending would make that loan and it would be processed through the Maryland Mortgage Program. And we did that so the Maryland DHCD could offer their down payment assistance, in concert with the HFA Advantage program. And HFA Advantage is the most affordable program that Freddie Mac offers for lenders to use. It only requires 3% down. And if your income is below the 80% area median income in your area, we do have reduced mortgage insurance on that. And I'll let Catherine do a deeper dive into that. And I don't want to eat into her time. So just be aware of that program. And also, you've been hearing, from Nicole and Patty, how important it is, for you to find the right realtor and the right loan originator for you. They work for you and they are fiduciaries for you. And what that means is you're putting your trust in their hands. So your realtor is, their fiduciary responsibility is to find the most affordable house that meets your needs. And the loan originator is going to find the most affordable loan program that you qualify for. And they should be working together hand in hand to help you through that process. And one of our main business pillars at Freddie Mac is education, not only housing professional education, but educating consumers. And 20 years ago, you see on your screen the program called Credit Smart. We created this financial education tool for consumers like yourselves to use. Okay, it's all web-based, and Lisa will provide you a copy of these slides so you'll have this information. So on this first slide, the web address is on the bottom right-hand corner. And what Credit Smart does, it really will help you, understand the whole journey of, going through the home buying process, the mortgage application process, and also the journey of home ownership. Because, you know, there's more to it than just buying the home and getting, you know, approved for a mortgage. This is a journey. You know, I've been a homeowner for 33 years, but I can remember when I bought my first home. It was overwhelming. Okay, so Credit Smart will help you through that process and really help you understand, you know, what is going on through the process. Now it's web-based, and you know, we enhanced it last year. And Lisa, if you can go to slide 2, we split it into 2 sides: financial capability and home ownership education, which is Home Buyer U. The financial capability side is, you know, our what we call the essential side. You know, it will teach you financial knowledge, skills, behavior, habits, you know, how to gain confidence, and also how to access products and tools and resources for you. The home ownership education side will get you ready, you know, to go through the process of purchasing and home ownership. But also, you know, we want you to preserve and protect your asset. This is probably, you know, the biggest financial decision that you're going to make in your life. So we want you to really, you know, take a hard look at what, you know, the financial aspect of this, and really be able to, you know, maintain that payment monthly, and also to prepare for a rainy day fund, because things happen when you're a homeowner. I can tell you, early on, you know, my dad was preaching to me, Jim, save money, because things happen when you're a homeowner. And he was very like a prophet, because 2 years in, my water heater went, I had a flooded basement, and I had a mess on my hands, but I did save some money. I was able to, you know, get the mess cleaned up, get a new water heater, and, you know, you just have to be prepared for that. So on the Credit Smart Essential side, I mentioned we enhanced it. So it's really web-based. It's easy to use. You can set up your own dashboard. You can track your progress, you know, set your goals, have a notebook to put in, you know, items that you want to refer to. And, you know, there's videos, interactive tools, and you really work with this at your own pace. There's no reason to rush through it. Like I said, homeownership is a journey, and this will help you through that journey. And this is a tool that doesn't cost you a penny. Freddie Mac doesn't charge you for this tool. This is free for you, and you know, it will only benefit you and add value. If you go to the next slide, Lisa, please. This is the essential side, and this breaks down how many modules that are set up, you know, within the system. So there's 4 modules for goal setting, 7 modules for earning and spending, 15 modules for, you know, being a savvy borrower that helps you build your credit and eliminate debt. Then 9 modules for planning and saving. And then, as I mentioned, protecting your asset. There's 13 modules there to help you prepare and protect. And the next slide, please. Now, this is for the immediate process. So this is if you partner with Nicole and Patty, you know, this is important for you to learn, you know, how you're going to be working with a realtor, how you're going to be working, you know, with a loan officer. And this is available in English and Spanish. And this is only 6 modules, and it's called Home Buyer U. And what this does is, you know, it really prepares you to go through the immediate process of buying that home and getting approved for the mortgage. And so at the end of this 6 modules, you have to pass a quiz, and you have to achieve 80%, and you get a completion certificate that's for home buyer education, and it's good for 12 months. So it really shows that, you know, that you're serious and to become a home buyer. And with that, Lisa, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you so much. And a lot of those down payment programs that may exist out there, they want you to do home buyer education. So, the tools that Freddie Mac have, not only will they make you a better home buyer and a better homeowner, they may end up getting some dollars in your pocket too. So, please check that out. And, like Jim said, they're absolutely free. So there's really, it's free. It's from the comfort of your own home, just like we are here tonight. So, please, take advantage of those. Jim, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And like Patty said, knowledge is power. So our audience, take advantage of it. It won't cost you anything and you'll gain a lot. So thank you for having me, Lisa.
Excellent. Thank you. And guys, I know it's a lot of information, but please, if you do have questions, please feel free to use that Q&A. But we're going to share some very, very important information with you right now. And I feel like we've, kind of buried the lead a little because Catherine Kramer-Dale is here from Maryland DHCD. And they run the Maryland Mortgage Program. And those are loan programs and financial assistance that are only available to Maryland residents. You're not going to get these anywhere else in the country. So Catherine, why don't you tell us everything that the Maryland Mortgage Program has to offer?
Okay, perfect. Well, first of all, I want to really congratulate all of you as homeowners for taking the first step. By participating on this call, you're learning a lot of information about what to do first and how the steps are. But Lisa at Maryland Realtors is even connecting you with these subject matter experts. So definitely be making sure that you're getting everyone's names and their contact information, because we will all help you walk through the process. My name is Catherine Kramer-Dale. I've been with the state of Maryland, for probably 15 years now. I come from the private industry. Let's see, I pull it up here. I'm from private industry and I'm trying to pull it up and I think I have it. Let's see. Let me stop again one more time, pull it back up because I had it up and I just lost it. So bear with me. There we go. Okay. So my website is www.mmp.maryland.gov. And if you are interested in purchasing a home in the state of Maryland, this is where you need to come. You do not apply directly with our state agency. When you're on this home page, you would scroll down and you would see where it says talk to a lender. And when you click on that, it's going to ask for your name, your address, like your name, your phone number, an email address, maybe some marketing questions about where you're looking to purchase, what city or county in the state of Maryland. We have over 120 lenders in the state of Maryland that are approved to use the Maryland Mortgage Program. So when you click on this talk to a lender, one of our lenders are going to respond to you. Or you can even get a list of our lenders and pick who you want. Or like Nicole said, I agree with you totally, Nicole. The best way to go is we all have friends and family, find out who they used for their agent and their lender, because if they've had a great experience, that's the best way to go. It's all about referral source. So if you find a lender, ask them if they are approved to use the Maryland Mortgage Program. You apply directly through the lender. The lender will make sure by going on to our professional portal right here, when they click on it, they're going to scroll down and they're going to see a man with a pair of glasses and they're going to click on program information. You can come on here. Anybody can come on here. This is a public website. We have lenders on here, we have agents on here, but we also have borrowers, because borrowers, again, like Jim said, like Patty said, knowledge is power. So we want to provide every tool that you have so that you're making the most informed decisions about the largest purchase that you'll probably ever make in your entire life. This isn't buying a car. This is buying a house. So yes, you hook up with the lender. The lender is going to determine that you meet FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional guidelines, Fannie and Freddie. And then you're going to tell them, hey, I heard about the Maryland Mortgage Program. Can I have an opportunity to get money to use to help me buy my home? We will provide you a loan. That loan is used for down payment and closing costs. We don't charge you any interest rate on that loan. You don't have to make any monthly payments on that loan, but you have to pay the loan back. The money that we provide you is called down payment assistance, DPA, and it's money that you get to use for down payment and or closing costs. So when you hear people say that you have to have a certain amount of money saved, yes, you have to show that good faith. And you got to bring your pocketbook and your checkbook to the closing table. But guess what? If you're using our program, odds are you won't even have to open up your pocketbook. And you might even walk away with some money. No, this is not a cash out refi. This is a purchase. But like Nicole said, there are costs involved, appraisals, inspections. That earnest money, what that is that's like your down payment. You know, when you put down payment on your car, it goes toward the purchase of your car. That's what Nicole was saying. You put down payment on your purchase of your home, and it's used to go towards the purchase of your home. You're not going to lose it. So our programs will help you so that you don't have to take any more money out of your pocketbook, and that you get to use our money. Don't pay any interest. Don't make monthly payments, but you got to promise to pay it back when you sell or refi. Well, the lenders and even the agents constantly reach out to us. I've been here for 14, 15 years. I do trainings all day and every day. I train the agents so that they're comfortable about using the products, that we're very transparent with the relationship that we have with all the Maryland realtors. We also are very transparent with all of our lenders. We want to help our lenders make sure they're comfortable using our down payment programs so that you get to go to closing lickety split. No one wants a whole bunch of nonsense going on. So we want to help you go to closing and make this, like Nicole said, an amazing experience. This doesn't have to be a headache. You have subject matter experts here that are going to help you. When you don't ask for help and you think you know what you're doing, that's when it's all going to go to pot. You want to make sure that you've got each one of us helping you so that you have the smoothest process and we're looking out for your best interest. So when you come to our website, I'm going to go to where our interest rates are. Your lender is coming to our agency not only to get money for you to help you with your down payment and closing cost, but they're also using our interest rate as the first mortgage. That's how your payment is calculated. That's the monthly payment that you pay for your mortgage. The down payment assistance, you don't pay a monthly payment. You don't pay interest. You just have to promise to pay it back when you sell or refinance your house. All of our loans is a fixed rate. So it's not going to change. It's not, your payment won't change because the rate's changing. It's fixed. It's locked in for a 30-year mortgage. We don't do 10. We don't do 15. It's a fixed 30. We have programs there called the Flex. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You just can't own a home anywhere in the world at the time of this closing. So if you own something somewhere else, you got to sell it, because this program is designed for you to purchase a home to achieve the American dream of owning the home in the state of Maryland, and you can't own anything else in the world. This has to be your primary residence, but you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You could own a home right now, go to Nicole, say, I want to buy another home, sell my home in the morning, and purchase this home in the afternoon. Perfect. We will still help you with a rate as well as any down payment assistance. They're called Flex. If you are a first-time home buyer, which means you're someone who's never owned a home anywhere in the world at the time of this closing, or maybe you did own a home before, but you haven't owned it or been on a deed anywhere in the world in the last 3 years. And then if you haven't been, we'll consider you a first-time home buyer. Any military, my husband's military. If you are military and you're using your VA entitlement, your VA exemption for the first time with us, guess what? You're a first-time home buyer as far as we're concerned. Or if you're purchasing a property that shows up on our Maryland Mortgage Program Mapper, it's a tool that we train the lenders and we'll even train the agents. If you go onto our website and you click on this product, it's a product tool that says Maryland Mortgage Program Mapper. It will tell you if the property, if you're interested in buying, is in a targeted area, then guess what? You're a first-time home buyer. So I could own a home right now. I could sell my home and Nicole and Patty could still say, Catherine, you're not a first-time home buyer. But if I'm buying a home that shows up on this mapper as being in a targeted area, here's the mapper. Your lender can click on it. They put the type in the property address. And if it says it's in a targeted area, and I'll give you an example really quick, then it's your lucky day. You're purchasing a property in the state of Maryland that's in a targeted area. You're a first-time home buyer. And you can sit there and say all day long, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. But yes, we would consider you to be. There are cities in the state of Maryland and counties that will say are targeted areas. So think of it this way. If you're in Montgomery County, no, Potomac is not a targeted area, but parts of Silver Spring, Tacoma Park, Wheaton, Germantown, Gaithersburg are considered targeted areas. In Prince George's County, there are areas that are considered to be targeted and there are areas that are not targeted. Some parts of Anne Arundel County are considered to be targeted or non-targeted. Baltimore City, I just put in a Baltimore City address. Don't look at the map, even though I'm telling you to pull up a mapper. Don't look at the map. It's pretty. It's got a pin. But underneath that property address that you might be interested in purchasing, look, it tells you all this stuff, right? But look, the magic is right here. If it says it's in a targeted area, woo, you're a first-time home buyer. It said yes. So the lender will determine if you are a first-time home buyer. And if you are, look at all of these products that you can select from. You can select from a product that has a Fannie or Freddie conventional or government rate, which government is FHA, VA, or USDA. Look at that rate. Right now, that rate is the lowest rate on the street. We don't charge any points. And just like Jim said, we don't charge you any fees. There are no points on these loans. There's no Maryland Mortgage Program fee that you would be charged to use any of our programs. You just have to meet our 6 eligibility guidelines, and the lender will go over that with you. First-time home buyer, household income, assets, home buyer education, DTI, debt to income ratio, and credit score. Our DTI is at a 45, and like Patty mentioned, we want your credit score to be 640 or higher. The lender will help you determine if you meet all of our 6 guidelines. And if you do, you could come to us and say, hey, you know what? I want the lowest rates you got on your rate sheet. I don't need any money from you guys. I got money in my savings or my checking. Maybe I got a gift. Maybe I took money out of my 401. Maybe my lender introduced me to a program in the city or county that I'm also interested in purchasing in, and I qualify for their money, and I don't need any money from the state. But guess what? If I got money from another city or county program, you can still come to the state and get money from us. You bring all the money to closing. So you could come to this table with a lot of money. Make sure your lender is willing to roll up their sleeves and get money from the city and county programs and also money from the state. You could get $6,000 from us. You could get 3% of your total first mortgage, round down, no change. 4% of your total first mortgage, round down, no change. 5% of your total first mortgage, round down, no change. 6%. I just told you that it's a fixed 30. We're at a 97%, 97, 98, 99, 100. That's 100% financing. And then if you did a 4% or a 5% or a 6%, you're going to have extra money where you could, like Jim brought up, if you got a reduced MI, which the lender will explain to you, if your qualifying income is at or below 80% AMI, you're going to walk away with some extra money. You might be able to even pay out your MI up front. Then we have programs in Montgomery County. So if you're interested in buying in Montgomery County and you work for a Montgomery County agency, they'll give you a qualified letter stating that you work for a Montgomery County agency that's part of this Montgomery County program. Guess what? They're going to give you a down payment assistance at no interest, no payments for $25,000 to help you with your down payment and closing cost. These are the rates for the first mortgage that calculates your mortgage payment. But this 25 grand right here, there's no interest, no monthly payments. They help you buy your house. You got to pay it back when you sell or refi. You're in Prince George's County. This product is in the city of Greenbelt. You have to be interested in purchasing in the city of Greenbelt, 20770, and you have to prove that you've been renting for the last 12 consecutive months in the city of Greenbelt, 20770. And guess what? The down payment assistance that you're getting is free, free, F-R-E-E. You don't ever have to pay that back. That's 15 grand. Then if you have student loan debt, which who doesn't have student loan debt, right? If you went to college, you got student loan debt. I even have student loan debt and I'm 60 years old. My daughter went to college and I've got one loan in my name for her education. That won't work here, but if it's in her name for her education, we'll help you buy a house. We'll give you down payment assistance if you want it. These are the rates at the mortgage, no down payment, that's the rate. $6,000, that's your rate. 4%, that's your rate. 6%, that's your rate. These are the rates for your first mortgage. This is the down payment that has no rate. You got to promise to pay it back. But guess what? We're going to help you pay off your student loan debt. So let's say you got a borrower on this call and his name's John. And John said, oh my God, I've got like $40,000 of student loan debt. It's killing me. I can't afford to buy a house. Well, guess what, John? We're going to take 15% of the purchase price and up to $50,000, we're going to pay off your student loan debt. So if you 15% of the purchase price up to the max of 50, if you only owe $40,000, guess what? The state of Maryland Department of Housing, Community Development, the Maryland Mortgage Program, whatever you want to call us, we're going to help you buy a house, let you have some money to help you put on down payment, and we're going to pay off your student loan debt. We put that student loan debt in the form of an unsecured promissory note. If you stay in this program for 5 years, at the end of 5 years, poof, it's forgiven. It magically went away. If you decided to sell or refinance, which right now the rates really wouldn't benefit you by refinancing, you do have to pay back. Again, if you sell or refi, you got to pay off your first mortgage, right? You got to pay back the DPA, right? But that student loan, if you decided to sell or refinance before the 5 years, then you pay back 20% for each year. So if you stayed in the house for 3 years and then you decided to sell or refi, you're only paying back 20% for the 4th year, 20% for the 5th. The last and final product is we do have a program that is designed to help first-time home buyers that meet all of our 6 guidelines, just like all the others. We're going to give you down payment assistance as well, but there are special income limits that apply. So you have to ask the Maryland Mortgage Program lender if they are approved with the Maryland Mortgage Program to offer this Maryland Home Ability. And if they are, this is for individuals that are disabled or for caring for a disabled family member. So again, my time is up. I'm always the last one, so I got to do it really quick. But if you are interested in buying a home in the state of Maryland as your primary residence, now is the time. And if you are interested in buying a home in the state of Maryland, come to my website, www.mmp, Maryland Mortgage Program, mmp.maryland, MARYLAND.gov. And you come to this homepage, you come down here, you talk to a lender, and a lender will reach out to you, or talk to your agent, have your agent refer you to a lender that they have a good working relationship with, and make sure the lender is approved to do the Maryland mortgage program. I want to thank you so much for your time. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Lisa can certainly send my email along with this link. We're not all about paper, so we make sure that this website is very user-friendly. There's so many tools. Go out and buy your house. It's time. Let's go. Let's go. We got a lot of money out here to help you guys. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it as always, Lisa.
Catherine, thank you. We appreciate you as well. How cool is that Smart Buy program? I mean,
So
really,
cool.
I had someone contact me from another state just to ask
Yeah.
about Smart Buy the other day. Like, tell me about this. This is incredible. So, yes, but all of the other Maryland mortgage programs are wonderful too. It's about finding the one that is right for you, which seems to be kind of like a theme that's going on through
Yeah.
our program here tonight. Well, I certainly want to thank all of our presenters, Nicole, Patty, Jim, and Catherine. And for those of you who are looking for some more information, check out MarylandHomeownership.com. That is a consumer-facing site that is created by the Maryland Realtors. We have buyer and seller toolkits on there that will walk you through not just the things that we talked about here tonight, but your inspections, your closing, here's how you move all your utilities over once you have your home, and good tips like that, along with information on the loans and some of the down payment programs that we have discussed here tonight. We do this, Your Home Buying Keys. These webinars are put on once a month. So please come back, join us. You want to watch us again? We will be here, and we'll welcome you back, and are happy to answer any of your questions. But thank you again for spending a July Thursday evening with us here for Your Home Buying Keys. Stay safe, stay cool, and best of luck on your home buying journey. Have a good night.